Hello everybody, my name is Amanda, as in who's that? A man, duh. And I'm here to act as your wingman, duh. I am going for a bachelor's degree in the fine arts, but I have a master's in the art of pickup. Anyways, today boys, we're gonna be doing a quick video about, I actually don't know what the title of this video is gonna be yet. It's just sort of I kind of had this thought and wanted to give a visual representation of it as to how the content that you're consuming on the internet, perhaps about women, or just some thoughts that you're having in your head about dating and relationships in general could actually be the very thing messing up your game. Not the fact that you don't have 6 figures in your bank account yet, or the fact that you don't look like a very chiseled Roman warrior, right? Like, not really those things, but actually what could be messing up your game and your ability to meet women, not only to date, but to maintain a relationship is actually some thoughts that you might be having. Maybe it's from something that happened to you in the past. I just want to put out there and say that I think it's completely normal and natural to sort of judge the opposite gender. I would be surprised if somebody went their whole life without having one judgmental thought about the opposite gender. I feel as though it's common to even have judgmental thoughts about your own gender, right? I don't want there to be this sort of narrative now in society that's kind of being perpetuated on the internet, like you have to be so perfect and you have to love everybody and not judge anybody at all, and then if you do, you're Satan and you're canceled. That's not the way reality works. It's a completely natural, normal thing to sort of not understand people that are different than you and to even have judgmental thoughts about them. I think it's innate in human nature to have these sort of questions and not find relatability with just anybody you meet. And I think shaming people and shaming ourselves for not having such a perfect, morally conscious, sort of high level of thinking 24/7 is actually not going to benefit us in any way. So again, on my channel, I really want to help us break some limiting beliefs and some constructs that we might have built in our minds living in the internet age, and some things that we might have perceived about women. That's the overall goal. Obviously, however, just for starters, I just kind of wanted to give you guys just something to keep in mind, because, again, this will just help you out in life. And even though we're working towards understanding women and, kind of not feeling so alienated by everybody different than us in society, even though that's the end goal, I want you guys to also keep in mind the fact that these judgmental thoughts, even though that it's completely natural and they do happen, they almost, the best thing I can compare it to is being constipated, right? I feel as though, and if you're a woman too watching this or whatever, and you're judgmental about men and you think that hashtag kill all men, that was a super toxic hashtag and it was super, super terrible, and it was just awful. So even if you're a woman, and you're having these judgmental thoughts about men, I mean, overall, it's not going to serve you. I think it's, again, as somebody who's been judgmental towards both genders at one point, at not even one point, at many points in my life, the best thing that I can compare it to is you kind of feel constipated, literally. So this is just me giving you guys an emotional laxative. So there you go. Okay. So this is just, okay. So I have these this, so I made this prop. It's called, so here it is. It's positive thoughts. I'm sorry if it's super ratchet and you guys can't read that. But this is a jar, and this is positive thoughts. And then this is another jar, and it says negative thoughts, right? And I got some quarters here. Just to give a visual example, if you guys heard of manifestation, the law of attraction, this is pretty similar, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind, because sometimes it's not even our thoughts too, right? It's not even what we're thinking, but it's the content that we're consuming on the internet, right? We have to remember every single video that we click on is sort of like digesting food, but for our brain. And if you're constantly clicking on entitled women get roasted videos, that can be the equivalent of eating donuts and leading you to be very constipated. So essentially positive thoughts, and negative thoughts. And it's completely natural too, if you're going through a breakup, to have like a lot of negative thoughts, not only about dating and relationships in general, but about the opposite gender as well. So again, I just want to drive home the fact, do not shame yourself for having any of these thoughts. It's just, again, overall the end goal is, happiness and just the best for you and growing as a person during your time and your journey here on the planet. So positive thoughts. So if I'm thinking, this is like, I don't even know why I have to give this, like, this is kind of a stupid way to do it, but so essentially if I think a negative, I'll just use me as an example and how I view, and because I'm a girl, I'll just use me and my thoughts towards men, for instance, as an example. So let's say, whatever, I start listening to a podcast that talks, major crap about dudes all the time, right? And then I go outside and then I see my friend for the first time in a while. Let's say her name is Sarah, and then Sarah's like, oh my God, Sarah's like, oh my God, Todd just broke up with me. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, oh no, Todd broke up with Sarah. Todd is such a jerk, like, and then I start thinking all these negative thoughts, right? And then I go and then I start watching a video about why men are stupid and why men suck and why men are terrible human beings and why women are so much better. It's just more in the negative thought jar. So that's in the negative thought jar. As opposed to, what if I think, let me also add, like, relationships, right? Let me say I look up the divorce rate, and let me say I listen to a podcast about terrible marriage statistics, right? That's two more in the jar, right? Another example of this could be like, a new study came out that women circled, the attractive male model with a symmetrical face as being the most attractive as opposed to the average looking male. And okay, I guess I just jumped to being a guy again, but let's just say like that happened. That's another more negative thoughts. And dating is hopeless, dating is dead. Maybe Sarah and Todd were like that one couple in my life that I always thought was gonna make it. So if they broke up, I'm like, wow, if they broke up, then how the heck can anyone be together? More negative thoughts, right? So if I were to turn this into the bank, my negative thoughts, if I were to deposit this, like, and this is my investment, you gotta think, what will be my return on investment, right? Negative experiences is most likely what I'm going to get back for investing all my money into only thinking negative thoughts. Now just imagine if I just thought, you know what though? I know what I just said, A through Z, everybody, dating is dead, all these things, but you know what? I had a good interaction with the dude at the register at the grocery store, and he gave me a smile, and it kind of made me feel, attractive for the first time. And, he seemed really nice and didn't seem hostile towards me or anything like that. So I'm going to take 2/4 out of the negative jar, and then I'm going to put it in the positive jar. Oh, I dropped one. Positive jar, right? And if I'm able to keep doing this, kind of reframing my thoughts, like, Todd and Sarah, they did break up, and I was not expecting that from them. They were always my kind of inspirational couple. But now that I've thought about the situation and it's been some time, Todd and Sarah were always kind of incompatible, and I think I've always kind of had a unrealistic viewpoint of them. So I don't think that they're this power couple that couldn't make it because that's sort of the unspoken rules in society. Maybe they were doomed from the start. So that's more of a positive thought in my opinion. Another positive thought could be, you know what, like some people, I just heard about this couple, they got together and they're in their mid 40s, and even though, you know, they're in their mid 40s, they seem really, really happy. Maybe, you know, dating isn't dead. Like maybe I'll just meet my soulmate when I'm older. Why do I have a unrealistic expectation of this very rigid timeline in which I'm meant to meet my soulmate? I'm looking at these 40-year-olds and they seem more in love than, you know, people than 20-year-olds, you know? More positive thoughts. Or I'm out in public, or I'm a server, I'm waitressing or something like that, and as I'm waiting on tables, I see this one couple and they're sitting on the same side of the booth as opposed to across each other, and they seem really, really in love. And it's kind of like, wow, it's kind of like glitching out my matrix and glitching out my reality. Like, look at those people there as I'm working. They're just so interconnected in conversation. How are they in love? It's honestly, they're so in love that they're kind of, their energy is kind of, being given off and like being spread around the entire restaurant because their love is so encapsulating and captivating and everything like that. So essentially overall, and then you got like, so in the negative thoughts, you have like these quarters, positive thoughts, you have these quarters. And if you go to the bank, what is going to be your return on investment, right? We have to think if we're always constantly focusing on the negative of dating, that's what we'll get back. I find it, I think it would be weird to find somebody in a very, very happy, healthy relationship with a really well-balanced, happy life, you know? And then also they hate the opposite gender at the same time. I feel like that doesn't happen a lot for a reason. Positive people tend to just be in positive relationships, and I feel like sometimes we overcomplicate it. Like, you have to look like this, you have to be that, you have to earn this and that. But then really, sometimes if we look at the common denominator between these things, what's truly empirical to us as evidence is that positive people tend to have positive experiences in dating and relationships. So if we can just sometimes retrain our mind to think positively in spite of being hurt, you know, sometimes, even if it's just 1 quarter in the positive jar, you know, that could over time, you could save a lot of money. Alrighty, I hope that made sense. I hope it wasn't too terrible. Anyways, boys, have a good day. Peace out. I don't know. I've been trying to figure this one out for myself. I always tell my female friends, you know, if you're with a taller guy, your chiropractor bills are gonna like be higher in the future as you get older because you're always looking up. It's gotta cause a lot of neck problems, cause a lot of back problems, like.